it in the JPEGD workbook. So basically, thus far is I have just plotted out an area and I've just started out the right view. Okay, so then we're going to go, basically the thing that you guys will be struggling with most is drawing your pentagon. So I'm just going to quickly recap on what I did. By area which was just so that I don't draw on my question, I plotted away on the symbol, and then I just drew a baseline to start off with. I did my dimension of 72, which I found on my right hand view, and then I started plotting out my height, which is 38 from my front view for the lowest point of my pentagon. If you go and look at these two views, they are aligned there at the bottom. So that is how I know that the 38 on the front view is the base for the right hand view. They ask of you to do a right view showing all in detail, and a full sectional front view, as well as a sectional top view on cutting plane BB. So BB is indicated for you, but looking at the full sectional front view, you have to add a cutting plane AA straight through the middle of your right hand view, which will then show you that you are cutting all the way through the middle here. And I'm looking at the front side, so I will be taking away this here in front, and I'm coloring this in so that I know that this is what gets taken away and that is what I will see. So here this line will become a solid line, that line will become a solid line, the rib will be basically a solid line on either side, the sectioning will be in the middle, and then I will have my base there. So looking at it on this view, I will basically have my hole, square hole that penetrates there as a solid line. This corner of my pentagon will disappear. This line will this line will stay. Just erase that. That line will stay. This line here for my rib will disappear, as well as there for my rib will disappear, and then I'll have my 5-degree hatching going all the way through on this side, and my cutting plane does not go through this holes, so I won't be seeing this hidden detail that I see on the front view there. So this is basically the view that I'm getting. Please remember that we do not section ribs and webs from the front view that they are showing, but we do section them through the cutting plane, as you can see as I did on my planing view. Okay, so getting a pentagon, we have the base, we have basically the one rib there, which I already measured out according to the dimensions, and I can close it there because it will stay solid, and I can do my other two ribs on the sides. Okay, now for my pentagon, I've plotted out the base of my pentagon already, which is a total distance of 25, looking at your given views. So there is my distance 25. Now when I want to draw my pentagon, I will have to first get a 72-degree angle on the side, because if I take a 360-degree circle and I divide it by the amount of sides that I have, it is the same with the hexagon. if the hexagon is going to divide 360 by 6 sides, it will give you a 60-degree angle that you will have to work on. Now we have a square of 72 degrees, so I will have to use my protractor. I do not have a loose protractor, so I'm just using my protractor. And I'm setting the 0 on the edge of the 25 on the one side. I'm marking my 72 there, and I'm just going to go and see if that is actually 72. Yes, it's exactly 72. So I just did a construction there from my mark to the edge of my pentagon, and I will be doing the same on the other side, measuring 72. Using my protractor, setting on the edge and getting and I just want to see if it is exactly 72 or if I need to adjust it. When you use a protractor that's loose, not part of your board ruler, it is easier to draw it that way. And yes, I do have two 72-degree angles there. Now I'm going to use my compass. So I'm going to set my compass on the total distance of the base, which is 25 millimeters. And I will scribe the line that I just made with a 72-degree angle, as well as on the other side. I will then set my compass on that scribe that I just made where it intersects my line. And I leave my compass on 25 degrees, and I scribe on the other side. Those two scribes intersect one another. That is the peak of a pentagon. So I'm going to connect these corners and create my pentagon from connecting those. And then there I have my pentagon. If I can just move it, there you'll be able to see it clearly. Okay, I'm sorry about the bad lighting. It is night time and other stuff to do before I could do this drawing for you guys. So now, looking at the cavity that they give us there, which is the hole, they give dimensions from the front view, which says square 14, meaning that it is 14 millimeters to each side. Now I want to measure 14 millimeters to two sides of my and 2 times 7 on the vertical center line. So I'm going to set my compass on 7 millimeters. And I'm going to set it on the center, and on each side of my center line, I will then $7 millimeters, or you can just use your board ruler to measure all your set squares. Now I'm just doing construction lines so see where these lines intersect. I do vertical construction lines, and then I know now where the horizontal line will be meeting. Please pay attention on how I equipment. I never ever remove my board ruler from my board. It is there to guide you so that you can draw straight lines. Do you see when I do the vertical lines, I actually set my set square on my board ruler and then I draw my lines that is given to me. Okay, so that is now my right view almost completed. I just need to add hidden detail, and that will be these two holes that they specify there, and we get them by measuring from their center points. So they say the center points are 20 mils, and guys, it's really easy to measure with a compass. You don't have to use a ruler. The rulers are actually quite inaccurate if you use them like that. Now, some of you might have seen this little tool before, and I have shown some of you how to use it. So I'm going to just show the people that don't know how to use them now. So these are for hidden detail lines as well as for center lines. You draw a solid line, and then you set the erasing shield over that solid line. And you just want a center line there. So I'm just going to erase dot, and then I have a longer line, a shorter line. If the bottom line is not long enough, you can just actually extend it a little bit. I will be extending this side as well, since I now can see how far the line is. I set it in the middle and I erase, and there's my two center lines. Now the next thing that they tell us is of this hole there, which we will get from the front view, and it is 14. So I will be setting my compass on 7 again. Sorry, I'm just quickly aligning my lead edge with my sharp edge of my compass. Okay, so it's on 7, and I set it on the center line. Scribe 7 to the one side and turn it around 7 to the other, and the same for this one. And there, so there's my dimensions that I just marked, and I'm going to do them as solid lines, because I'm going to use my erasing shield to erase them so that they become hidden detail lines. Set my erasing shield over them, erase, 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 and there's my hidden detail, and this is now mine view completed. I'm going to pick it up a little bit so that you guys can see the completed view here. Okay, so now I have my right view done. I'm now going to move to my front view, which will be a sectional front view. So the first thing that I have to do is I have to indicate my cutting plane on my right view. Okay, so cutting plane AA is indicated on my right view. And now I'm going to do projections with my board ruler. Please do not just use a normal ruler. You won't get straight lines from doing that. And I'm projecting every single corner line of right hand view across. So I projected this corner of the pentagon, the square, top and bottom, the pentagon side and the pentagon's top. I projected across to my side. You project it totally to the side till it touches the edge of your drawing page. Okay, so now I already measured out for myself 10 mils away from my center, my y-axis. I measured 115, and then I know that this 115 on this side will be a solid line, and on this side will be a solid line, and below the bottom it will be a solid line. So I am drawing that in as a solid line. Now I'm looking at this view. I already did my hatching for myself on this side, so I can just go and redraw this drawing exactly as is. Okay, so getting the center of my 115, which is now 57,5, and I'm going to use my compass to do these dimensions. You guys can really get into the habit of using the compass to do dimensions because it takes up a lot less time. And I just want to check this dimension. Seems like something's wrong. 115. Okay, so I didn't measure this one correctly. It's supposed to be there. And I picked that up immediately because I can see with my eye that 57 that I got there wasn't actually in the middle. So I'm just going to erase this that I'm seeing there on that side, and then again set my compass to 57,5, and as I have 5, you just set your compass straight in the middle between the 2 millimeter lines. Okay, so that's more on center. Now I'm going to tell you that when we're doing a center line, which we have here, you just do a solid line, and then you're going to use your erasing shield to make it an actual center line. So doing a longer line like this, I skip 2 dots, and then I erase the next 2 dots. Then I skip 2 dots and I erase the next 2 dots. And then I skip 2 dots. I erase the next 2 dots. And I'm going to move it up. So I'm going to erase those top 2 dots there as well. And now I have a broken or a center line when you look at it like that. And just want to erase properly here. Sorry about that. I see that it's not erased properly here at the bottom. Okay, great. Okay, so that's my center line that I have there. Now I know that the rib is 12 millimeters. I'm setting my compass on 6. I'm working from the center line. I'm going to get 6 to the one side and 6 to the other side. And I do know how high my rib is because if I look at this view, it lines up with the rib or the bottom of my pentagon, and I can just follow my projection across and see that this is where it's going to stop, as well as on this side, that is where it's going to stop. And now I draw my back to now complete the side view of my pentagon so that I can find my other ribs. They're telling me that the pentagon is 40 millimeters long, and I'm going to work from the center, so I'm setting it on 20. So on the center at the highest point of my pentagon, or you can do it at the lowest point. It does not really matter. Measure 20 to each side, and I will be drawing in these sides of my pentagon because they will be there. Please again just pay attention to how I'm using my equipment. I will only draw my pentagon's bottom lowest point up to the rib, and I will complete the top view there, and then I can go and the square, draw it in solid, and the top of my square in solid, and do my two ribs on the sides which won't be sectioned. And now when I'm doing hatching, my drawing is completed. It can now just be hatched. When I'm doing hatching, my set square has a little thing there, or a change in level. That is my referencing for my hatching. Some set squares has more than one. There is one as well, right there. Or you can use your millimeter lines if you want to do that. So I'm setting that dent in the corner of my drawing, and I'm drawing a line, and I'm setting it on the line that I just drew, and I draw a line. I continue this all the way through, and look at how uniform my hatching is. So I'm quickly just going to complete this. Sorry. Okay, so there is my view done. I just need to add the center line of my square. And there's my center line for my square. Okay, now we need to do the top view. So 10 mils more or less away from your given views. You're going to draw an axis, and you're going to use your 45 set square, and you're going to draw a 45-degree line from that corner. Lines, all of them that I can see from my top view. I will project them to the 45. It's going to be quite a few lines. But don't stress, it's supposed to look easy. When you're doing your projection, please do the construction lines from the actual point on the drawing that the line is coming from, so that you know where it is coming from. So for example, with the circles hidden detail there, I'm taking my construction line from the circles hidden detail. Again, then this corner here, the 45 degree must touch that corner there, that line that I projected all the way to the top there. And then I'm going to go and I am going to project where these lines touch my 45 degree. I'm going to project them across. So start with the topmost one there. And then last time on that side. So there's a lot of lines going on here, but remember your lines will be construction. I'm drawing a little bit darker so that you guys can just see what I'm doing. Now the next step is to project that you can see across. Oh, sorry, not across, to the top. Now you just have to add your cutting plane on your right hand view. It's telling you that the cutting plane. So I'm just going to quickly measure 18 millimeters. And I'm going to do my cutting plane. And the cutting plane is indicated with a center line. And the arrows are pointing down. B. Okay, so now, before you do all your projections to the side, you don't have to take the pentagon because the pentagon will fall away. So when we look at this video or looking at this cutting plane, all that is everything below the cutting plane. So you can just go, I'm just quickly going to erase most of these lines so that I'm not confusing you guys when you are looking at the actual drawing. Okay, So that is erased. Okay, so the only ones that I'm going to keep is this one, this one, and this one. Then where the cutting plane touches my view, I'm going to project that from the top to the 45 as well. So the cutting plane first touches there, and I'm going to project that line to the side. The cutting plane touches my rib, and I will project my ribs line across the side, as well as my other side of the rib. And then I just need to project this point here, cutting plane to the 45, and then across. Okay, so a lot of lines there, but now I will still look at my front view, that line to the top and this line to the top. Now we have on this drawing, we're going to work, and you can do this between this point and make a dot, a dot, a dot, and a dot, and you draw that in solid because I'm keeping that. It's not because it is below the cutting plane. There. Now I need to go and look at where the cutting plane sections my ribs. So this rib on this side here is this rib on this view here. So following these lines of my ribs, I'm going to project them all the way to the top, and I'm looking at where it cuts. So following the line there, cuts there, okay, and on the other side it cuts there. But now I need to find out where it's cutting this rib on this side, which is these two of my plane, and I project these lines to the top. So this is a solid line. Be like a cross that it's making, meeting in the middle. And now I'm going to on my 45-degree angle, and I'll be hatching in the opposite direction that I hatched my previous view, because it's two different sections. And I'm only hatching the ribs up to where the cutting plane meets the rib. Okay guys, so there is my top view. Now you go through, oh sorry, we do not actually, our section is not completed, my mistake. We need to still add the circles that we are seeing from the top view. So I'm going to take my center line of my circle. An easy way also to do is called the rule of similarity, especially if you have two mean lines. So you're using that distance, following your line, scribing there, each side. It's called the rule of similarity. Construction line, and they will be center lines at the end of the day. But now the distance that it goes into my drawing, they say that it is 17, so I will set my compass on 17. There. And then it actually falls tiny on the cutting plane. Not exactly, but more or less. Okay, and then the circles has a diameter of 40. So I'm going to set my compass on where those lines intersect. This is a very small circle that we are drawing. That is quite difficult. It does take learn how to do this. I also still struggle. As you can see, I just want to realign my edges. Sure, it's on 7. The idea with drawing a circle like this is letting your compass lean into the page so that you don't really apply pressure, but that your compass leans into the page. You see, I'm holding my compass totally on an angle. And then on. Yeah. That happen. Just try and prick your compass properly into your paper so that it doesn't slip. Okay, there's my 2 circles, and then there's no circles on the other side. If you look at the given, that is your given views. And then you just go in through your question and make sure that you did everything that they asked of you. Thank you, gents. I hope that you understand what you're supposed to be studying for your test, and very good luck with what you are doing. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will be doing more videos as time allows.